What up, world? Established Rich coming right back at you. Today is not about being popular, and it's not about being right for the internet. It's about leadership, expectation, and a moment that told the truth without asking for permission. Monday night in Los Angeles, the building was full and the message was clear. This was supposed to be a contender check. The Los Angeles Lakers walked in on a 7-game win streak and walked out looking like a team that lost its grip. The Phoenix Suns did what good teams do. They applied pressure and waited for clarity. And when the game itself stopped mattering, every camera in that arena starts looking for leadership. This is how moments turn into conversations. Late in the third quarter, with the score stretching and the crowd going flat, JJ Redick starts calling for LeBron James. Not as a diss, not as a move for TV, as a coach trying to lock the room back in.
Knock down the jumper.
And I know Laker fans, this is about as bad as it gets when Brooks is the guy doing damage to the purple and gold. 27 assists for Phoenix on 39 baskets.
Lakers want a timeout, and the officials don't see JJ out on the court. 49 seconds left in the third.
JJ Redick called LeBron James' name more than once, and not in a casual way. He called it loud enough that the entire arena heard it and knew exactly who it was aimed at. And after all of that, LeBron James did not turn around, didn't acknowledge him, and didn't pretend he even heard it. No eye contact, no signal, no I hear you. Just separation. And separation is louder than words in a losing moment. JJ calls a timeout right after that, which is what a coach is supposed to do when the game is slipping and emotions are high. This is where the visual becomes the story. Because instead of coming back to the bench with his team, LeBron stayed on the other end of the floor, laughing, talking, chopping it up with the ops, while the bench sat and waited for direction. And that image hit harder than any box score ever could. This is where I gotta be clear, because I'm with the fans on this one. Not out of emotion, out of expectation. Down 20 at home is not a social moment. That's a leadership moment. This ain't about being friendly as a person. This is about setting the temperature when things go left. Confused teams don't win at a high level. They hang around, they survive, but they don't finish. And finishing is what separates the good ones from the bad ones. This critique didn't come out of nowhere. People have been seeing versions of this LeBron for years, even during his peak. Not that he ain't great, but that his instincts in losing moments can feel too comfortable. Some leaders get quiet when they lose. Some of them get angry. Some leaders look like they already moved on before the game is even over. Monday night, a lot of people saw that third version. And when you making $50 million, and asking a team to buy into one more run, that visual matters. Expectation doesn't fade because the calendar changes. And the age argument don't save you here. Age earns you respect, not exemption from the standard. If you still want control, you still gotta own the moments that come with it. Locker rooms don't run on interviews. They run on cues. Guys study how you move when facts are ugly. When the game is close, anybody can be locked in. When the game is getting out of hand, that's when leadership shows up or disappears. And disappearance gets noticed fast. This is why the money part matters. And people need to stop pretending it don't. That check ain't just a reward, it's a responsibility. You get paid to set the temperature, even when you don't feel like it. Monday night, the temperature dropped. Not because of missed shots, but because of body language. This is also why the coaching dynamic matters here. JJ Redick got this job because of LeBron's support. When you help put a man in the seat, you owe that seat public unity. You can disagree behind closed doors, but you can't make authority look optional in real time. The moment the star ignores the coach, every player in that room learns a lesson. Who gets checked and who don't. Who the rules apply to and who they don't apply to. This is how discipline gets soft without being announced. This is how small expectations turn into big problems. And this is how seasons go sideways quietly. This ain't about calling anybody unprofessional. It's about naming what the moment communicated. And it communicated distance when the team needed connection. History tells us this part of careers is the most dangerous. Not because skill disappears, but because the urgency does. When great players feel like they've already done enough, they start preserving comfort without realizing that's human. But winning late stage championships is not human. It's brutal. This is the part where people start trying to explain it away. They say he older, he's seen it all. He ain't phased like that no more. But that explanation don't hold when you still asking the room to follow you. Because following somebody requires belief. And belief is built in the moments when things are uncomfortable, not when everything is going right. That's why body language matters more than words in late careers. Great players don't lose their skills first. They lose their edge around frustration. They stop treating losing like an emergency. And the locker room feels that shift even if nobody says it out loud. Guys start looking at each other instead of looking at the leader. That's when the team starts playing individual survival basketball. This is why the smile hits different. Not because smiling is wrong, but because of when it showed up. Timing is everything in leadership. You can be cool after the game. You can be respectful after the handshakes. But during the storm, You supposed to look like you in it with your team. When you don't, the message gets misread fast. Not intentionally, naturally. Humans read signals before they listen to explanations. This is also where history starts to catch up to you. Every great player carries a narrative, and that narrative gets activated in moments like this. This moment fed an old story people have been waiting to confirm. That story isn't that he doesn't care. It's that he cares different. And different leadership styles land different when the room is bleeding. Some leaders pull everybody into the mess. Some leaders try to rise above it. The problem is, the team don't need above it. They need in it. This is why championship teams are tight. Everybody feels responsible for the discomfort. Nobody is allowed to escape it. When somebody escapes it, even for a moment, it creates distance. And distance creates doubt. And doubt is poison in April and May in the NBA. This is the real reason fans reacted the way they did. Not because they forgot what he did before, but because they trying to figure out what he's doing now. People don't get mad at leaders they don't believe in. They get disappointed in leaders they expect more from. Disappointment is a form of respect, whether people admit it or not. This is also why the money keeps coming back into the conversation. When you command that level of pay, you command that level of scrutiny. That's the contract you sign beyond the paper. You don't get to coast into the sunset on a contender. You either push the throttle or you get the hell out of the driver's seat. There is no cruise control at the top. This ain't about stripping anybody of their greatness. This is about honestly assessing what phase he is in. Because phases change even if pride don't. The game does not announce when it's starting to move past you. It drops hints, and those hints show up in moments just like this one. This is why the bitch moment mattered than any play call. It was a visual representation of what a leader stood in that moment. And that image is hard to erase once you've seen it. Not because it was malicious, but because it was honest. Moments like that don't lie. Now let's get to the part nobody want to say. The Los Angeles Lakers are not a daycare center. They are not a place designed to watch over anybody's child while they clock in on the court. This is a business built to win, and the mission does not change because your family is involved.
The Los Angeles Lakers have assigned guard Bronny James and forward Aldo Tyro, if that's how you pronounce it, to the G League affiliate, the South Bay Lakers. As reported by one of the Clutch Sports affiliates, Dave McMenamin, the Los Angeles Lakers have assigned guard Bronny James Jr. forward Aldo Tyro, I don't think I pronounced that name right, to South Bay, the team announced. Bronny James has played in 10 games for the Lakers this season. In those games, he has averaged 2.1 points per game.
Wow. Some are saying LeBron is mad because J.J. Redick sent Bronny down to the G League. But once again, a daycare adjusts the room for your child. It centers feelings, it provides a buffer, and it prioritizes protection over pressure. An NBA franchise does the opposite. It applies pressure and expects adaptation. When you walk into that building, everybody is on the same clock. Everybody is subject to the same standard. And the moment it feels like that standard can bend, the foundation starts cracking. This ain't a shot at LeBron or fatherhood. This is a statement about professional spaces. You could be a great father without asking the locker room to share that responsibility. The locker room is not supposed to be understanding. It's supposed to be demanding. That's why it produces results. And this is where the Bronny situation becomes symbolic, not personal. Not about talent, not about potential, about positioning. When a young player gets sent to the G League, that's not punishment. That's a path. Most players would kill for a development opportunity. But when it's LeBron's son, the emotions hit different. This is why teams talk about the room. The room is fragile. The room is unforgiving. The room picks up on tension before it ever hits the media. And when the room feels like it has to start navigating a family dynamic, it stops operating organically. Guys start thinking twice about everything. Who can say what? Who can be coached hard? Who has to be handled carefully? This is how standards get uneven without any announcement. This is how teams lose edge without losing talent. And this is how a contender starts looking normal. Normal teams don't win championships. Normal teams talk about potential. Champions talk about execution. This is why the J.J. Redick dynamic can't be separated from this conversation. When you help put a man in a position of authority, you don't get to half empower him. Authority either exists or it don't. A young coach cannot afford mixed signals. He don't have his history to protect him. All he has is the present moment and whether the room believes him or not. When the star doesn't meet him at the bench, the message is not subtle. It says the coach can be ignored. And once that idea gets loose, you don't get it back. This is how coaches lose rooms before they lose records. Players stop locking in. Accountability gets selective. And everybody starts trying to survive individually instead of winning collectively. That looked familiar on Monday night. Not because of the stat, but because of the vibe. This is where the end of the road question gets uncomfortable. When you've done everything, how hard are you still willing to make it on everybody else, including yourself? Farewell energy don't look like quitting. It looks like lowering the volume on standards that used to scream. And on great teams, that silence gets loudest. This is what people are reacting to. Not disrespect, distance, not failure, drift. The Lakers don't need comfort. They need clarity. And clarity only comes when everybody is held to the same line. The hardest part about this conversation is that it's not emotional. It's structural. It's about what a building can and cannot be asked to carry. And no franchise at this level can carry a family dynamic and a title mandate at the same time. You can love your son. You can want the world for him. But you cannot ask a locker room full of grown men to pause their edge so you can feel comfortable. That's not cool. That's unprofessional. And every championship team understands that line without having to explain it. And this is where people get it twisted, thinking accountability means a lack of care. It doesn't. It means care is expressed through standards, not expectations. When standard becomes negotiable at the top, it disappears at the bottom. And once that happens, talent can't save you. Talent never saves a team that lost its unity. This is where fans are right to feel some type of way. Not because they expect perfection, but because they expect alignment. You either live by the standard or you admit it's time to adjust it. And let me say this clear because it matters. Nobody is trying to erase greatness. LeBron's greatness is already written. This is about how the story ends, not how it started. And endings are where the truth slips out when everybody's tired. Endings are where the standards either hold or they fall apart. This is what the game has always done. It don't disrespect you. It just stops bending the rules for you. When that moment comes, you got two choices. You can raise the temperature and drag everybody back into the fire, or you can cool the room and let it figure out itself. Only one of those is going to keep a team sharp. Only one of those says, we still here for real. And Monday night made it unclear which one was happening. So this ain't a tape. This is a measurement. A moment where everybody got to step back and ask, what mode are we really in? Once again, the Los Angeles Lakers are not a daycare center. They are a pressure cooker. And everybody who walks into that building agrees with that up front. Championships require sacrifice, not comfort. But hey, that's just my opinion. What's yours? Like, comment, subscribe. Establish Rich. I'll be back with another one. Peace.